Alright, how we doing this evening? So, I was trying to figure out what videos we might want to do coming up, and I figured I'd pick some premiums just because that's what people are probably looking at right now. If you have any suggestions for other ships or whatever, please mention so in a comment. But tonight, we're going to look at the Dunkirk here. So, I will tell you, as a Tier 6 premium, I really enjoy this ship quite a bit. It's an amazing bow tanker, especially at tier. It's a really good ship. You have two quad mount 330 52s. The muzzle velocity is pretty dang good. For HE, it's 885, almost 900 meters per second. So they have pretty high penning if even if you fire HE, but the AP on these is actually really, really good, especially for tier 6. Dispersion's a little bit annoying, but it's tier 6. What are you gonna do? AA protection's not the best rating in the world for a battleship, but I will tell you that unless you're going up against a tier 8 carrier, I don't worry so much. The maneuverability is really good on it. It is pretty good clip for a tier 6 battleship, almost 30 knots. Rudder shift time about 11 and a half or 11.2. That's pretty slow for a battleship, but this is one of those battleships you're going to sit and you're going to bow tank, and you're probably going to piss a lot of people off in a fashion because you're going to sit in the back. There's a good chance you may end up slow boating all the way to the target. People are going to probably shoot at other stuff more than you unless they know they need to take you out. Good players typically know they need to take you out pretty quick. I'm of the school of thought that battleships detectability doesn't necessarily matter. I know that's against the thought process for a lot of people. I don't put a lot into concealment when it comes to battleships because I'm the type of person I want my guns firing throughout the entire battle. To me, it's more important to know when to engage, when to disengage, right? Pretty standard loadout here. I like having my dispersion down, so I put the aiming system mod 1 on here. Rudder shift is huge for any battleship, so that's typically for the slot 4 is pretty standard for me. I have Jacques Henri, however you say that, in here. Turret rotation is buffed. I know I talked about not concealment, but I believe this is actually, yeah, this is a commander that I had in my, I think my Henry the Fourth for a little while, but I've recently started putting him in the premiums now. So he does have concealment. I probably will move that to something else eventually. But to be honest with you, concealment's not really that big of a deal. Adrenaline rush and the turret rotation on expert marksman are huge. So let's just get to some gameplay, and I'll kind of talk through what we're doing here. So do some matchmaking and see how we're doing. By the way, if you have any ideas for videos, like I said, please either PM me in game, um, say so in the YouTube channel. I definitely need suggestions on what ships you'd like to see because I have pretty much every single premium out there, with the exception, of course, of the Kronstadt and Stalingrad. I hate to say it, you will not see me do reviews on carriers. You just won't. I hate carriers. I suck at carriers. If you want to see how to play carrier horribly, I can do a video that way. But I am definitely not the best carrier driver, so you typically won't see me drive those. But other than that, battleships, destroyers, cruisers definitely do it. Okay, this matchup is fairly favorable, right? Tier 6 matchup. This few and far between. I know I mentioned that in the Z39 video I made. Very rarely do you see this. I found that Tier 6 you actually get 6s and 7s quite more frequently than if you're in a Tier 8, you'll get 10s quite frequently. So, on this map, right, on Ring, I typically like to go out a little ways to about this island and then push south. And the reason behind that is I found that if I push through this area right here, I tend to end up getting sandwiched, fired on by both sides, and it's just better for me to get a little range and come straight down either the 3 line or down the 4 line. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go straight west to about this point right here, and then we're going to come south. So I'm already liking this carrier. He's getting his aircraft out. Looks like he's going to head out southwest, which is going to be awesome for us. get us some vision. Shinome is probably one of the scarier destroyers at this tier. 8-kilometer torps, right? Pretty good concealment. Nicholas, 2 Nicholas, that's a good gunboat combo actually. If they roll together, they could do a lot of damage. Bairns, these guys will be my primaries as soon as I can get shots on them. Bairns are scary battleships, and there you go, there's a Bairn. They're German battleships, man. Great tanks, right? So I typically do this when battleships push in so I can engage and keep engaging. By the time the spotter comes back in, he will be well within my gun range. So I'm probably going to ignore that Arizona for a while. They don't have the best accuracy. Okay. There you go. There's that optimized AP, right? A whole bunch of bounces and overpins. I hate that about AP nowadays. It seems to be the standard almost. Can I make it over? Nope, can't make it over. So you see those torps? Those are probably from the Shinome. The range that those came in. So I'm probably going to slow down right here and start bow tanking. Because the destroyers just aren't pushing far enough out to give me eyes, so I'm not exactly excited to be out there by myself as the tank. See that smoke on the left there, so you need to keep an eye on that.
Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy destroyer sighted. Enemy battleship detected.
Try to move up and get shots on this Leander. I don't think we're going to get around the island in time. So not my best move here, right? I gave up pretty big hits to that Bairn. I was hoping to one-shot that Leander. Didn't really work out for me. So now, exactly what I talked about happening is happening. I'm getting sandwiched here. The Shinome is shooting me on the left, the Leander on the right. Need to hopefully get backed up here. Over Penn City. Pretty much the standard now, it seems like.
Enemy destroyer detected. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy destroyer sighted.
Should be safe from the Leander now. I'm going to try to engage this Bairn as he comes around. So unfortunately, the Bairn in Arizona are almost untouched. I'm not a fan of this angle. I do this a lot if you're noticing I'm looking at various targets because I'm trying to optimize my damage output, and quite frankly, a Bairn kiting away like that, you're not going to do a whole lot of damage. You just aren't. And Leander saw that we're shooting at him. Took 3 grand out.
Enemy battleship detected.
Come on, give me those citadels. Whole bunch of overpens. It looked to me like a lot more rounds than 3 hit, but whatever. So I aimed a little too high on that one because I thought he was going to turn away, but he is actually turning in. Leanders, right? These guns are supposed to be able to overmatch that armor, but it's pretty sad, actually. Hey, the carrier listened. That's awesome.
Enemy destroyer detected.
I want to kill this Leander before I engage the battleships, but it looks like the destroyer and the carrier are doing a great job on these guys.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
So I'm going to move up. There we go. That's awesome that Emil is primarying the correct target. That's fantastic. So I'm going to let that Emil probably take that kill because I want to maximize my damage I can do with my guns here, right? Come on, guys. Kill that Leander. Dude's he's at 6 from me. I really don't want to waste a battleship shot on him. Why the destroyer is shooting at the Baron? I guess I'll just waste my battleship reload.
Enemy cruisers sunk.
This is where prioritizing targets is very important. So one of the things I talk about when I play this game is prioritizing targets. What should be priority first? So in my opinion, cruisers always first. I don't care what anyone says. The damage tick from them is real. They do a lot of damage over the course of time, and it's actually very dangerous to leave cruisers alone. After that, spotted destroyers, of course. And then battleships last, believe it or not. I always will say battleships last. And that's literally because battleships can deal with battleships at any time. Cruisers left alone sitting at range, it's not good, man. You know? Everything dies to cruisers left alone. So 30-second reload on a battleship and you ignore them, it's not so much a big deal. So one of the things that people don't recognize is I am heading toward this Arizona, so I actually need to aim short, right? Aiming right below that little red line, the water line, it'll walk the shells into them. It's actually how to work, so like right now. And you see that's a pretty good size hit there. So I'm going to slow down because we're getting a little closer than I want. Okay, so now I'm going to full throttle. I'm going to help this Emil out. He kind of overextended, but it is what it is. We're going to get on this Baron. Yeah, saw that coming. I'm going to keep pushing as hard as I can on this Baron. So this Baron, it's a hell of a tank, right? They're good ships. But the Dunkirk, without citadeling, I'm going to do quite a bit of damage. So the angle he's at, I'm probably not going to pen him with AP too well. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this AP, and I'm going to load HE for the next salvo. I don't know if you saw that turret emblem pop up. Not a lot of people pay attention to those. The reason those are important is you literally just reset his reload on that gun. And that's a great tactic if you're attempting to keep yourself from taking damage, okay? So you haven't taken the gun out. I don't really like calling it that. You literally resetting his turret reload. So he just fired. He's going behind an island. We got torpedo bombers coming in, so I'm going to turn. Okay. You always want to turn into torpedo bombers. You never want to turn away from. Okay. Your bow is the skinniest part of your ship. Keep your bow toward torpedo bombers. Unfortunately, we need to try to get this bow round. Yeah, that was probably maybe a Citadel or two on me. I didn't get turned in time. There's a very good chance I probably won't survive this. Oh, hell, the match is over pretty much. It's 6 against 2, basically. Yeah, there we are. Double freaking fires. And I got 30 seconds before I'm gonna be able to put this fire out, and I don't think I'm gonna survive that. Carrier's kind of YOLOing in. Maybe I'll survive if I don't take any more hits. Yeah, well, that's it right there, right? Nope, I'm dead. Well, that was a good match. 103,000 damage. So you see I don't know if you noticed the turn radius of the ship is pretty tight. Once the rudder's over, the ship turns hard. It's extremely slow, though, getting the rudder over. That's the only thing that sucks about the ship. So we did have some secondary hits. Did get a Citadel on that Arizona. Lot of impacts, actually. This is pretty big. I talked about the dispersion being pretty bad at the beginning of the match, and honestly, sometimes I think that wargaming feels bad for you one day, and your dispersion will be great, and the next day it'll be completely off. But we did pretty good. Made 300,000 credits, right? Even after the premium consumables and everything that we utilize on a regular basis, I still made 200,000 credits. So it's not a bad credit earner. And to be honest with you, this ship, the Dunkirk, is just a fun ship, an all-around fun boat. I have fun playing it. It's probably one of my more favorite ships to play. It's just fun. It's not bad, and it's tier 6, right? So you can take it into operations if you want or whatever. A pair of these together, which I do quite often, are pretty deadly, especially when you focus stuff down. And the AA is not too bad. Definitely worth it, in my opinion. Any questions, comments, concerns, definitely hit me up in the comments section, and I will gladly answer them in another video, or I'll answer you directly on your comment. Anything else? Any other videos or ships? As I've said multiple times, definitely need some help thinking of some videos. So if you want to see a review on a ship or just some gameplay, just let me know. All right? Y'all have a good night.